vision, dental, 401k, and magic mushrooms. Some companies are now seriously offering psychedelics to treat mental health as a new benefit. More and more professionals are turning to mind-expanding substances like LSD, psilocybin, and ketamine to improve their performance. Elon Musk seems to be open to the idea of popping some acid with your boss. He said on X, quote, "If drugs actually helped improve my net productivity over time, I would definitely take them." All right, Greg, this seems to be your milieu. You know, the one thing that bothers me is that the long-term effects of some of this stuff can be very dangerous, and they can actually put you in a psychotic episode.
Well, you know, the thing is, like guns, drugs are a functional object. You don't conflate intention with function. So guns can save lives. Guns can take lives. Drugs, we use them every day. We have commercials in between our blocks that sell drugs, and they have tons of little warnings said really fast, so you really don't hear them. And there's no question, psychedelics can have therapeutic effects under careful supervision. We're using this for PTSD and other things. It can have a positive experience, and they're helpful. My issue with drugs is the quick fix mentality that we're seeing. How can I use drugs to get me from point A to point B, whether point B is better at work, pleasure, or wisdom? If you deliver the benefits, whether it's enlightenment or wisdom, without the effort necessary to find that, you're going to miss out the value from the achievement, and that will diminish the result. So you're hearing a lot about people trying to get enlightenment from drugs, but that's temporary because it's disconnected from effort. Effort plus enlightenment equals wisdom. People do drugs to escape boredom. You asked me. I'm answering. Don't smirk. People do drugs to escape boredom and anxiety, but sometimes boredom and anxiety are necessary for you to take action. So let yourself feel before you do drugs.
Is it as simple?
She wasn't listening anyway.
I was trying to listen.
Were you listening? Did you get it?
I was trying to listen. I don't know that I understood it all, but it sounded. I didn't know that people sought wisdom from drugs.
What they're doing in Silicon Valley right now with the microdosing. I love it when people laugh because they don't read about this stuff. People think that's making them smarter.
Oh my God.
Well, correct. So I want to pan it, but I know I can't, and I know I shouldn't, because I know too many guys, too many vets that have benefited from controlled psychedelics and others when other post-traumatic stress medications or simply popping pills sent them in the other direction. I don't know that most workplaces are probably conducive to doing more drugs to try to treat it. I just don't know enough about it.
Pete, you know, if it makes you sharper, I mean, can you imagine if in the military, if people under your command said, you know what, if I take some psilocybin or something or microdose a little, it'll help me in combat.
Well, there are...
They do that already?
There is some of that already. Certainly, foreign adversaries that have no controls do a lot of that to try to create super soldier type
fighter pilots in World War II.
There are also a lot of things you're not allowed to take because you don't want the up and the down in the combat either.
Yeah.
And so you have to be careful about what that is.
One of the things, Kennedy, that they talk about is the depression that you go into when you're really high, and then when you go off it, there is this swinging the other way.
We have to be very careful here talking about recreational use and people who are self-medicating because they have issues with addiction. Yes, they are going to experience depressive or psychotic episodes, and that can exacerbate whatever trauma they've been through and the addiction that has resulted from that. What I'm most interested in is the data and some of the studies that have been done, particularly, you know, Marcus Capone, who has taken vets to other countries, and through therapy-guided MDMA and other substances, they have achieved phenomenal results treating PTSD and in some cases curing PTSD, which the VA has not put forth enough medication, enough experts. They cannot get enough people to stay at the VA to properly treat some of the returning vets who have been diagnosed with PTSD. So if there is something else on the horizon that could truly help them, I am interested in the data, and I think we do need more research, and we do need to help people who have fought and who need it most.
You know, speaking of that, Richard, in 1970, some of this stuff was part of the Schedule I drugs, high potential for abuse, no medical value. And then 50 years later, it seems that they're recategorizing them, which goes to what we're speaking about.
And they should. I think clearly the cat must have jumped over the moon, because I agree with Greg. But I think they're recategorizing them because when you actually study the methodology and the utilization of these drugs, you find out that there are some benefits to it. There's a 2013 study that was done by the University of South Florida that found that psilocybin stimulates neurogenesis, the growth and repair of brain cells in the hippocampus, which is the part of the brain that deals with emotion and memory. And so folks who are in controlled settings in medical environments with these drugs, they're actually seeing amazing results. I think the warning here is, don't just go do them randomly on the weekend. Yeah. Go find a medical professional who's trained in this, get the therapy you need prior to taking these drugs or taking this medicine, and then take it with medical supervision and the support of a medical setting. And if you do that, the benefits of it can actually be rewarding. There's studies from the University of South Florida, there's studies from Johns Hopkins, recent studies that show the benefits of these drugs. It's the same as marijuana. At one point in time, we thought it was the worst drug in the world, and we find out that there's actually a lot of benefits to it. And so I think we have to be very cautious of this, and we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater for something that seems to be actually working for folks. And it's from the ground.
Oh. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.